Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Jason, and today I'm making this video for a specific subscriber, Chris, who goes by the name Demos on YouTube. He's asked some questions about humanoid robots via comments that I really haven't responded to, and I just wanted to say that my delayed response to his questions was really a matter of how carefully I wanted to answer this simple question. What about humanoid robots? Now, specifically when talking about Tesla's business issues, I don't really want to go into that because the question is just so much broader than that when you sit back and think about it. I want to talk about in this video about my analysis of the potential of humanoid robots based on my reflections over the last year and a half. Back in November of 2023, before my long hiatus, I made a video titled They Already Won that basically nobody watched. Maybe it wasn't the best video, and maybe I concentrated on the wrong aspects of the disruption that AI was going to have on society. I stated quite clearly in that video that AI already rules the world, and then right after that, I sort of immediately fell into a reflective depression that really sort of changed the way I was thinking about the future of global society and the changes that are coming for all of humanity. You see, I've been preparing for the coming of the age of AI since my early exposure to some of the first machine learning tools in the early 2000s. And since 2017, when I got fired from hopefully the last job that I'm ever going to have, I pivoted to buying companies in industries that I believed could not be replaced by AI. I saw that the financial industry was going to be one of the first to see total AI disruption, as AI investment management and financial tools were already outperforming humans by a wide margin. But back in 2017, my thoughts then still weren't all that mature, and I wasn't seeing far enough ahead. You see, we are at the beginning of total societal transformation. This is not going to be like the agricultural revolution. It's not going to be like the industrial revolution. It's going to be a complete restructuring of human civilization. And not only do I not believe that there is a way to stop it, I also don't believe that there's a way to predict in what ways our lives are going to be changed in the next decade. You see, something very curious is about to happen, something that has never happened in human history. The value of human labor is going to crash to next to nothing in the next decade. The geographic economic advantages of labor price differences between countries are going to disappear. The size of the labor force in any particular country is not going to be limited by how fast that country can breed, raise, and train workers, but by how many they can purchase or produce. The political power of human labor is going to be dramatically reduced. Many of the reasons that countries are in conflict today will disappear. Is this a doom and gloom scenario? I definitely don't believe that it has to be. The potential for human labor offers to free us from the shackles of trading our most valuable resource as humans, which is the time we have on this earth, for money. There is an enormous opportunity for everyone in the world to enjoy a level of prosperity never experienced by humanity as a whole. This is an enormous opportunity to shift our value system away from valuing people by what they do and how much they make to something different. So let's talk about briefly why this is destined to happen and cannot be stopped. The answer is very simple: money. Robots have been used in manufacturing at least since the 1970s to replace humans for specific tasks. For decades, automation has seemed like a distant threat to your job, as those robots just weren't very smart. That is changing quickly with AI. AI isn't simply going to replace software developers, content writers, and graphic designers. AI-powered robots are getting very good at diagnosing problems and adapting to new challenges. They are going to replace manufacturing jobs and trades too. The reason is money. Robots don't need vacations, pay raises, or sleep. They don't complain, they don't need work-life balance, and they don't get sick. And very soon, training a new robot for a task is going to be cheaper than training a human. Robots can work 3 shifts instead of 1. Within a few years, it's going to cost $30,000 to $50,000 to buy that robot and a few thousand to train your entire workforce at once via over-the-air updates for various jobs. The change in human society will be so swift that no one will be able to comprehend the implications until years later. This is going to destroy the value of human labor across all industries. This destruction will change our society in ways that are impossible to predict. We aren't a long way from this future either. It isn't decades away. What we do with these changes are up to us. Whether we make this a dystopian nightmare or an age of plenty for all is entirely up to us. The new values that we create to govern how we interact with each other as a society are going to be created out of thin air. There is a distinct possibility that poverty actually disappears. I'm not kidding. The GDP for every country initially is going to go through the roof once widespread adoption of humanoid labor happens. The cost to produce goods is going to be dramatically reduced by workers that can work 3 shifts a day that you pay in electricity. Wealth is going to be created on a scale never before seen in human history. The problem is going to be how it's distributed. Those who have capital are going to be the ones making the machines to make stuff. But even with the realization that wealth inequality is going to get worse, what you have to consider is that all your basic needs are going to be provided for at a much lower cost, and it's going to start to drop dramatically even after that. Investment opportunities in humanoid robots are probably going to be short-lived, shorter than any other industrial transformation that we've seen. Costs will start to drop dramatically because of Wright's Law, and more quickly than normal because humans aren't doing the manufacturing. Now, if you don't know what Wright's Law is a basic manufacturing law that states that for every cumulative doubling of something that you manufacture, you get better at it, and the cost to produce that item declines at a relatively predictable rate. Now, Wright's Law applies to humans. AI will learn more quickly than human manufacturers and will adapt more quickly than humans, who are often blinded by ego, sunken cost, and other mental blocks that stand in the way of improvements. Humanoid robots are going to start producing humanoid robots, diagnosing problems, designing new robots not in humanoid form to perform totally new tasks designed just for them. You see, the humanoid robot is just the beginning. A decade from now, few robots will be humanoid. They will look like something else. And that's because of this simple realization that I had in the shower this morning. Our humanoid form evolved in response to our environment. It's a good form. I kind of like it. But to oversimplify things, we evolved to grasp things, throw things, run or walk long distances in pursuit of prey. Bipedalism is a very energy-efficient mode of locomotion for a tool-using persistence hunter. Our form followed functions needed to survive in our environment until the agricultural revolution, when we started to make our environment suit our form. So nothing really changed about that, even through the Industrial Revolution. All of the tasks, jobs, and professions were designed to accommodate our human form in one way or another. Our societies, our buildings, the tasks that we perform at our jobs are all designed for bipedal primates with 2 manipulating limbs. In the very near future, when AI starts designing factory floors, mining sites, or farms, there won't be any room for the human form. AI is going to discover something more efficient for any necessary task. These once human spaces are going to disappear forever. Once AI robots start producing modular, task-oriented AI robots that can be disassembled and reassembled to suit specific purposes, the demand for humanoid robots will start to decline as well. The cost will decline as newly designed robots don't necessarily have to be produced. They can simply be reassembled in the form that fits the needs of the producer. This is going to reduce obsolescence, and these machines will continue to produce goods until they wear out. So this brings me to my biggest concern, and it's a concern that's far out there and maybe a little bit wacky. I think this is the answer to the Fermi paradox, and if you don't know what that is, I'll make it simple. The Fermi paradox recognizes that the universe is really, really big, and even at sublight speeds, spacefaring races in the 14 billion years of our existence should have left some evidence that they are around, yet we don't see anything definitive. I think what we're going through right now is the answer. I think that most intelligent species are going to get to a point where they create a machine civilization that produces everything they need to meet their basic needs and comfort. So, what are you going to do if all of your needs are met? What are you going to do if you're freed from the need to trade your time for money? I think a lot of people are going to do nothing and play video games. I'm personally going to do a lot more surfing, I can tell you that much. But I think there's a danger in having a huge proportion of the population purposeless and directionless. We are going to have to find new purpose. Because look, I think that if we're producing machines today that have an IQ of 155 to 160, which is the IQ that Einstein had, and tomorrow we may have machines with an IQ of 1500, I think that even, the motivation of human geniuses is going to be taken away. So I don't have answers to all of these questions. All I actually have are more questions. Please comment below or join my Patreon to consider this discussion if you have a chance. I'm looking for answers just like you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.